Does your life feel a bit tepid, disenchanted? Nothing really seems to inspire you anymore. I was like that for a long while, and I found the solution was in creativity. Now, bear with me, because I'm going to take you on a little bit of a journey on my creative path, and I hope that it will show you where you are lacking creativity in your life and encourage you to start a creative pursuit for yourself to get that sense of enchantment, imagination and wonder back in your life. So towards the back end of 2023, I came across a video by a guy called Rick's Creations, and he is a illustrator, a very, very good artist, and also a world builder. Now, I'd never come across this term before, world building, but as soon as I stumbled on this video, I realised it was what I had been missing for years. See, world building is basically the idea of creating a fantasy or a sci-fi world, perhaps even not a fantasy world, but just an imagined reality. Now, it can be for Dungeons and Dragons, it could be for writing a novel in, or it may just be because you want to have something to put your imagination into. Perhaps you like drawing maps and designing creatures, designing places, something for your imagination to really run wild with. And as an avid fan of Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, so many great worlds, this concept really appealed to me. And I think, looking back to my childhood, I also used to love writing stories in school. I would often make up, adventures in my head that me and my mates would go out and play. We would be conquering and questing through the woods. And over time, I lost this sense of play, this sense of creativity in my life. It became very, focused on career or focused on my university degree. I had a sense of play perhaps through video games, but my imagination wasn't being utilised in that sense. I'd lost my creative spark. I also really used to enjoy drawing when I was at school, and this is something that I had stopped completely in my young adult life. And so coming across this video of world building really sparked something in me. That very evening, I began to draw maps out of a fantasy world that I then began to build. And over the last few years, I've continued building it. I've fleshed out some of the races, some of the places, drawn maps, built creatures, crafted a history for this world. Now, I'm a great lover of plants, of nature. In fact, my day job is to advise on biodiversity and the environment to farms and landowners. So it's something I'm really passionate about. And I began to craft a world that was really immersed in nature too. It kind of combined all of my interests, really, and I just found this way to express myself that I hadn't had previously. A way to be creative, to just pour passion into a project. And it started to reignite me. It started to kindle something in me that had been missing for a long while. It was almost as if I'd had these embers of creativity, and this video by Rick's Creations had just blown on them and sparks me back into life again. Now, don't get me wrong, over the last few years I've kind of picked it up and put it down. It hasn't been a constant thing that I've been doing. I've also been experimenting with making YouTube videos. I made some for my world, and also with making some for this channel too. So I've had other creative projects, but it really got me re-inspired to be creative in one way or another. And as I say, it was something that I had been missing. It was something that for the longest while, my life just hadn't had any creativity in it, and I'd missed it. Now, world building may not be your thing. Maybe it is, and if it is, great. crack on with it because it's a fantastic hobby. But finding a creative pursuit, a creative hobby that you enjoy, perhaps even something that you used to do when you were younger and have lost touch with. Maybe for you, it's cooking, baking, making food for people or for yourself. You know, I love my food too, but I enjoy cooking, but it's never been, it's never really got me inspired to the same level. I enjoy making a good meal, but perhaps for you, cooking is that thing that really gets you fired up. And maybe you haven't done much of it lately. I would really encourage you to just, whatever it is for you, whether it's an artistic pursuit, a culinary pursuit, maybe even something like interior design, those creative pursuits, so creative hobbies, give us something that I feel a lot of us are missing in the current world. We spend an awful lot of time consuming, don't we? Whether it's consuming the news, consuming TV, consuming social media. I'm just as guilty of this as you are. I spend far too much time on YouTube. That's where I spend most of my time consuming. And it gets us out of balance. It gets us out of whack. We take all of this information in and then don't do anything with it. And I find that for me, it can really get me down. It can really suffocate me and make me feel uninspired. I see all the other people creating stuff that I'm consuming, and I think, where's my contribution to that? Where's my contribution to the world? And so by creating something, we bring into existence something that didn't exist before. And that's a really powerful thing. As humans, we are the only species that are able to do that. Sure, other species create life, but we can create art, we can create music, we can create these fantastic food dishes that other people can enjoy. We can give so much of ourselves, of our passion to the world. And oftentimes we just don't do it, do we? I think a lot of us search for permission to be creative, permission to be ourselves, to be authentic. And, we listen to all of this advice online, but really it's the permission that we seek, permission of those around us often that we feel maybe are going to judge us for pursuing that thing, that perhaps that nerdy interest that we have. But it's what makes you you at the end of the day. So go for it. This is me giving you permission. You don't need permission from anyone else. You only need permission from yourself. And I want you to really, really sit with it and think on what's holding you back from being more creative in your life. What's getting in your way? What are those things that you used to love doing that perhaps you just haven't given yourself permission to do for a while? Sit with that, think on it. And when you've come up with what it is for you, go and do it. Just take this evening, today, whenever it is you're watching this video, and go and spend an hour creating. I guarantee you, you'll feel like a different person after that. It will stir something up in you, especially if you haven't been creative for a long while, that you thought you'd lost, because that's exactly what happened to me. I thought I'd just lost this kind of creative flair and that life had become a bit of a drudgery. I reignite it and suddenly I see a whole world of possibility in front of me. And it can be the same for you. All you have to do is give yourself permission to create and then go and do it. You'll find that it really transforms your life. In fact, it transformed my life so much that it's now one of the fundamental things that I try and do on a daily basis. And don't get me wrong, I don't do it every day. I'm not perfect, but probably on at least 80% of my days, I try and create something, whether it's a YouTube video, doing something on my world building projects, or building something. I've recently been building some wardrobes from scratch for our bedroom, and that's been a real fun, creative DIY project that I've got stuck into. It's challenged me, it's made me grow, it's made me learn new things as well. And that's the beauty of creativity, is it keeps us like children. It keeps us learning, it keeps us growing, it keeps us curious as well. And oh, how much do we need that today? So if you want help with creativity and how to just build it into your life in a very easy way, alongside the other good habits that we know we should be doing, to take care of ourselves, then check out the links in the description. I hope that you take this video, and I hope that you go and find something that appeals to you, something that draws you in, that you can create with, and it really will give you just a new perspective on life again. That's it for today. Thanks ever so much for watching. If you made it this far, please do hit the subscribe button, and until next time, take care. God bless.